All right, let's talk about something you've seen a million times, the dimples on a golf ball. They're so familiar, right? You probably think they're just for show, or maybe you have a rough idea of why they're there. But I promise you, they are hiding an absolutely brilliant and kind of weird secret from the world of physics. A secret that totally changed the game of golf forever.
So to get this, you gotta go way back in time. Early golfers, they were playing with these perfectly smooth golf balls. And they started noticing something really strange. A brand new, shiny, smooth ball, it flew horribly. It would just wobble through the air and drop like a rock. But an old, beat-up, dented ball? That thing would fly straighter and way farther. So how on earth could damage actually make it better? That was a big mystery everyone was trying to solve.
And believe me, when they finally cracked that puzzle, the answer didn't just give us a better golf ball. It turned into one of the biggest breakthroughs in the entire history of sports engineering. This was the moment golf went from a game of luck to a science of pure precision.
Now, if you ask pretty much anyone why golf balls have dimples, this is what they'll tell you. And look, they're not wrong. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. It's the simple surface-level answer, but the real magic, the really cool part, is what's happening just one layer deeper.
And this is where it gets wonderfully counterintuitive. The real secret to a golf ball's flight is that the dimples are designed to create turbulence. Yeah, you heard that right. The very thing pilots try to avoid at all costs, a golf ball basically invites to the party. By creating this very specific controls chaos right around its surface, the ball pulls off an incredible aerodynamic magic trick.
Okay, so how is that possible? How can adding a bunch of messy turbulence actually make something fly farther and straighter? Well, it's all about cleverly hacking the physics of drag.
To get this hack, first we need to talk about something called the boundary layer. Just picture this. As any object moves, there's a super thin layer of air that kind of clings to its surface, almost like a skin. And the behavior of that little skin of air, well, it changes everything.
So let's look at this smooth ball first. As it flies, that boundary layer of air just peels away from the surface really early on. This creates this huge, messy pocket of low-pressure air behind it, a massive wake. And that wake acts like a parachute, creating an enormous amount of drag. But now look at the dimpled ball. Those little dents churn up the air, creating tiny bits of turbulence that actually energize that boundary layer, making it hug the ball's surface for much longer. And because it stays attached longer, the wake behind the ball becomes way smaller. And a smaller wake means dramatically less drag. It's genius!
But wait, there's more. Because cutting down on drag is only half the story. The dimples have another job that's just as important, but it's one that most people never even think about. They help the ball generate lift.
Just let that sink in for a second. A dimpled golf ball isn't just some projectile that you hit and hope for the best. Nope. Thanks to this incredible design, it actually behaves more like an airplane's wing, creating its own aerodynamic lift to stay in the air for what seems like an impossibly long time.
Here's how it works. It all starts with the golfer's swing, which puts a ton of backspin on the ball. Now, as that ball is spinning backwards through the air, the dimples act like little hands, grabbing the air and flinging it faster over the top of the ball. And basic physics tells us that faster-moving air has lower pressure. So what you get is low pressure on top and higher pressure on the bottom. And that pressure difference creates an upward force. And that force, my friends, is lift. So you see, these dimples aren't just a random texture. They are an incredibly sophisticated, highly engineered solution to a really complex physics problem. Every single golf ball is a tiny masterpiece of aerodynamic design.
I mean, just take a look at your average modern golf ball. It has somewhere around 330 dimples. That number isn't random. It's the result of countless hours of wind tunnel testing, computer simulations, and trial and error, all to find that perfect, sweet spot for minimizing drag and maximizing lift.
And get this, not all dimples are created equal. The big manufacturers guard their dimple patterns like they're top-secret formulas. Callaway, for instance, uses these unique hexagonal dimples for total surface coverage. Titleist uses a bunch of different size circles to get a super stable flight, and Bridgestone actually plays with the depth of their dimples to fine-tune performance. So you're not just buying a golf ball, you're buying a whole different theory of aerodynamics.
But here's the catch. Dimples are what you might call brutally honest. They amplify whatever spin you put on that ball. So if you have a perfect swing with pure backspin, the dimples will reward you with one of those gorgeous, high, soaring shots that feels amazing. But if your swing is a little off and you create some side spin, well, the dimples are going to exaggerate that too, leading to those soul-crushing hooks and slices that we amateurs know all too well.
So when you put this all together, you start to realize something profound.
Dimples didn't just make the golf ball fly a little better, they fundamentally changed the entire nature of the sport.
This is the key takeaway, right here. Without Dimples, golf would just be a game of chaotic luck. You could hit 2 perfect shots and have them do completely different things. It would be totally unpredictable. But with Dimples, the ball's flight becomes predictable. It becomes reliable. And that predictability is what allows for strategy, control, and for skill to be the thing that wins the game. Dimples are what turned golf into a true test of skill.
So, let's just recap. The real reason dimples matter is so much cooler than just reducing drag. Number 1, they create intentional turbulence to totally transform the ball's flight. Number 2, they work with backspin to generate their own lift, keeping the ball in the air longer. And number 3, and this is the big one, they are what allows skill, not just random luck, to define the entire sport.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It just goes to show you that sometimes the most common, everyday objects have the most incredible stories locked inside them. It really makes you wonder, what other amazing science is hiding right there in plain sight, just waiting for us to notice?